Agata with Armstrong, and we are here in downtown Connellsville, right outside the Connellsville Community Ministries. National Volunteer Week is April 23rd through the 29th, so we thought today would be a great day to check out the ministries and see all of the volunteer opportunities here. We are here in the processing room, which this is where the second sorting of all of the donations of clothing, right? All of the donations of clothing takes place. And housewares. And so what you guys do in here, I think you said you just recheck everything. Is that right?
We check and make sure everything has its proper amount of buttons. No, there's no rips, no rips, tears.
Hidden tears.
And then we price it, and then we size it, price it, and then we put it out into the boutique for sale.
Very cool. So you guys really, you're like the last string of defense, making sure that it's all the best things that are going out for people to buy.
Before it goes on the line, yes. And it's been checked twice, but sometimes we do make a mistake, but very few.
Yeah.
So it's just not like clothing, it's shoes and stuff too. So men's shoes, women's shoes.
Very fun stuff. So why don't you guys tell me your names and why you decided to volunteer here at the Connellsville Community Ministries?
Clara Brocker, I enjoy it, and it's a good deed. Made lots of friends.
Janie Fabian, and probably for the same reasons, to be able to get out a little bit, and I've made wonderful friends here, lasting friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I always wanted to help feed people. That's one thing that pulled me in, but then I've never actually worked in the food bank. I have also been on the receiving end of the benefits for community ministry because my son had a severe stroke, and they have supplied him with equipment. And they do that. None of the medical equipment is sold.
It's awesome. Shirley Peterson. It's always been like on my bucket list to come here, so that's where we all come to work every day and have a good time while we're doing it. Yeah.
And you can tell, I mean, in here, I've been in here with you guys maybe 5 minutes, and you have fun. And there's
The time goes by.
the time goes by, and you guys have lots of fun. So I know, Janie, you've been here for what, 20 years? No.
Going on 4.
Going on 4 years. Okay, so a little bit different than the 20.
Yeah.
But you've been here 4 years. So I have to ask, do you have just any good stories?
Yeah, I do. I have a funny story, in fact, and I'm sure they're not going to want me to tell this, but I'm going to tell it because I have a big mouth. When I first came here, my very first day, I came here, and there were none of these ladies. There were the older, listen to me, there were other ladies here, and they made me cry. And I left. I ran out of here like a little scalded duck or something, you know. But I came back. I think Sharon called me. I came back, and I'm sure glad I did. And after that, everybody was kind of nice. And that's why I try to be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
There's no mean, you know. I learned the hard way.
Oh, goodness.
So the moral of the story is, even if they make you cry the first day, you should come back. Always come back, because it's worth it.
Very much worth it, yeah.
What about you, Claire? Do you have any good stories?
No, I just enjoy it, and it's good fellowship. I see kids that are grown now, adults that I've had in school, and it's just a good feeling.
Very fun. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about. Janie, you talked about a voucher that you found. What is that? What happens there?
We don't get paid, of course. It's all volunteer, and we do it because we want to do it. But every once in a while, the ministries, Miss Rita, in fact, will hide little vouchers that we're allowed to use in the boutique. And
This one's for $3.
yeah, this one's for $3. I found it this morning buried underneath one of the boxes. So Claire and I will manage to spend this by the end of the day, and then plus some, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's always fun. It's like a Easter egg hunt every day, you know. And they're good to us like this. Just little things, but it means so much to us to know for them to show that we're appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It comes on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Did you tell them about the pizza?
Wait, there's pizza? I like pizza.
Yeah, every Wednesday they have, it's actually Sharon's brother, supplies us, Pizza King, supplies us with a big pizza for lunch. So it's worth it, yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah, it is.
So if you really want to volunteer and you're always hungry or hangry, you should come on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But you don't just come at lunchtime. You come and volunteer, and then you can be a part of lunch, right?
Always looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
Somebody out there, you know, that wants something to do, people to be with. They need people to be with. We're always looking for that. It's a good place.
Jobs, answering the telephone, answering questions.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and
Yeah, it's a Christian ministry, and that's the awesome part, yeah.
As they say, this is the extension of a church. Yeah. And we do respect that, but we have fun though.
we start our day every morning with devotions.
Yeah.
And heads up on what's the agenda for the day, so we all know and are aware.
Yeah.
All right, well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. We're going to move on and let you get back to work. Thanks. Thank you. So we are behind the scenes again, and this is Kay Rumba. And Kay, I'd like to hear about when you first started working here at Connellsville Community Ministries.
Well, I heard about Connellsville Ministries and thought, what a good idea. You know, I wanted to help people. I was still able to. And I came in one day, and of course they start you out over in processing with the clothing, and I was working there. And someone came in with this huge basket filled with flowers that they had just dumped in the basket. And they said, what do I do with this? How much should I charge for it? And the boss told them, put a couple dollars on it. People will, maybe someone will come along that will want that. And just out of my mouth, without even thinking about it, I said, I could arrange those. And so she said, okay. They cleared off a table for me. And of course, I had no supplies to work with. I balled up newspaper and filled the basket, and then I started arranging the flowers in them, and they put it out for sale, and it sold for $12. So I was thrilled. Yeah. I had made $12 out of nothing. So that grew from there, and now I have a whole work area set up here, and they bring me all sorts of flowers that come in, and they're usually dirty or losing some of their flowers, and I just take them apart, I wash them, I dry them, and I rearrange them, and they sell them. So I feel like I'm doing something to promote the help of the people who need it here.
And what I think is so neat is you're coming to volunteer, but you're getting to use those created giftings on the inside of you, the creative process and everything, and you get to come. And I feel like every day is probably an adventure, right? Because you never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Every day there's something new. I can't even turn my back on this table, and there's something appears, that I have to do. And also, sets of dishes that come in. I think they're so beautiful. I inherited that from my mom. I think that she loved dishes, and I do too. Yeah. And I find dishes and I clean them up. I wash them too, and I set the table out there. We get tablecloths in. I put the tablecloth on the table, arrange it real pretty, make a centerpiece for it, and they sell. So that's another job that I love. Yeah. So it's just like the longer you work here, you find your niche, where you feel comfortable working, where your talent is, where God wants you to be. Yeah. And that's what I feel.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. We are downstairs in the food pantry section, and this is Steven. So Steven, I heard that you're kind of newer in the volunteering?
Yeah, I'm from Connellsville and have known about the ministry for a while, and they do great work here, so I thought I should get involved.
Very cool. So how often do you come down?
It's been about once a week. Yeah, put in a few hours at the start of the week. It's a good feeling to get the week going. So.
Very cool. So what are you doing down here today?
Yeah, we're organizing food boxes for families in need, people that qualify for the food, and it's donated by local grocery stores and different organizations in the area. So.
Very neat. And earlier I saw you upstairs answering the phone?
Yep.
You're just a jack of all trades. You just kind of do it all?
Yeah, I'm trying it all out. Yeah.
Very fun. So where do you think you're going to land after you've tried everything? Where do you think it's going to be like, this is where Steven volunteers?
Right. I could see being up at the front desk, I suppose. I've worked phone jobs before, and it's nice receiving the people when they come in, and, when you field all the calls, I guess it's sort of, you get a good sense of what to do here and how everything operates. So. Very cool. Yeah.
So any advice for someone who's looking to start volunteering? I'd
say come down and talk with Chip. Talk with any of the volunteers here. Everybody's super friendly, really easy to get involved, and it's up to your schedule too. So people could come in just a few hours a week, and seems like we need the help. So it'd be great to have more people. So. Very cool.
Well, thank you so much for what you do. You're making a huge difference in this area. So thanks.
All right.
We are here with Jack Love now. I think you have been volunteering 22 years. Wow. So what made you decide to start volunteering at Connellsville Community Ministries?
Well, I'd been living with Mom, and she passed away, so I moved in with my sister and brother-in-law, and they wanted me to do something outside the house, you know. Yeah. So eventually I ended up at Community Ministries, and I've been here ever since.
So what all do you do here at the ministry?
I'm actually the food manager now. I see what food comes in on the food truck, and then I do a bunch of numbers to get that so we can make our food boxes out of that. Mm-hmm. I do some work on the computer too, so, and that's how I do that.
Very neat.
I keep talking.
Yeah, no. So lots of numbers, lots of figuring everything out. But you really, it seems like you found your place here at the ministries, yeah? So do you have any good stories that you can share?
Well, I've met a lot of people, the different people, and they've all been pretty good, you know. So, you know, that's the best story right there. Plus of all the people we serve, you know, and all the clients, and we know we do this for God, you know.
So it makes a huge difference in the community, but also in the volunteer. You get to make a lot of friends, yeah?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got friends here I didn't know I would have.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. So we're here with Chuck, and Chuck works downstairs right at the receiving end, right? So when a box is donated, when something comes in, you are the first line of defense. So what do you do?
Okay, once they come in, we more or less, like I said, with clothes, we just take all the clothes, and there's an area right there with a couple bins in. We take them through all the clothes in there, and then somebody else will go through them. Then the rest of the stuff, like I said, we have boxes. We mark maybe, like I said, this one is toys. So you find something in here, trucks and cars and anything of that nature. Separate them, make sure that they're in good shape. Yep. And then we have one, like, again, for books. We have different stuff. This one would be, again, household, something like that. That, you know, like I said, you get little odds and ends of things of that nature. Little just, you know, odds and ends of something that you might put there for households. And then we take and put them back there. And then we have other people. Once they call from upstairs and say, we need this, then we put it on the elevator and ship it upstairs, and they go through it and separate it.
Wow. So you get to see everything as soon as it comes in. And what kind of standards does the ministry have before they put something out? What are you checking for?
Broken, really bad shape, dirty, something, and we get it, and it happens. But there's so much, and some of it is so hard to say if it's a toy or it's a household item or whatever. But you use your best judgment to put it in a box and container, and then again we take and send it upstairs. They go through it. The ones they like, they take and put prices on, and then they put them on the shelves and we sell them. Yeah.
So why did you start volunteering?
Well, God has been so good for me and my family, has blessed us very well, and it's time for me to give back to the community. So instead of sitting home sleeping or falling asleep, you know, when you get up in age a little bit, I come down here and put a few hours in, and it helps me from falling asleep, and just it makes me feel good to help the community. Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
We are here with Tammy, who is also in the processing portion of the Connellsville Community Ministry. So you go through all of the clothes that come, right?
Correct. Yes.
So when did you start?
I think end of October I started, but 20 years ago I started collecting them at my church, and I would deliver to a church up in the mountains, and then we heard about this place that we started about 15 years ago donating. Now I'm on the other side, I'm sorting them, not just donating, I'm sorting them.
Yeah. And do you have fun with doing this?
I feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a good kind of work.
It is, and there's a lot of nice people here, you know.
Yeah. So what has been your favorite part of working here or volunteering here at Connellsville Community Ministries?
I think it's fun redecorating the windows, the displays. Yeah, that's fun. I help Kay with that.
You know. We got to talk to Kay. She's wonderful. So you get to do all of that with her too.
Yes, I'm not like her sidekick. I help her. Yeah.
Very, very nice. We are right inside Connellsville Community Ministries here with Rita, who is the Director of Volunteer Resources, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if someone wants to start volunteering here, what does that process look like? How do I start?
Sure, there's a couple different ways. It depends on what you're most comfortable with. You can always stop in where we are right here. Go back down that hallway. You could stop and get an application, or you could go online to our website, which is cacm.org. There's an online application if you would prefer to do that. The only catch is you have to complete your state clearances. The state changed the law about 2 years ago, so everyone would need clearances before they start. It takes about a week for them to come back, and we'll mail them for you and help you with the form if you need it.
Wonderful. And there's no cost for clearances, right?
Nope, they did make them free when they required that everyone have them, but we do have to have them before new volunteers start. But if you already have them through your church or school or somewhere, you could just bring us a copy, and that would be fine too.
Wonderful. So if I want to start volunteering here and I come, I do the application, I get my clearances, what's the next step? How do I start?
Sure. All of our volunteers sort of set their own schedule. There are days that work for them. There are days or hours that don't. Some are here every day. Some are here a few hours here and there. So the first conversation would be like, what sort of time do you envision being able to give? What day do you want to start? And then, we go from there. We do a little orientation with you, go over our little handbook, and when people start, we put them in every area sort of at first for the first couple weeks, unless they came here specifically to do one thing. So you could see what all we have to offer and where you think you would fit in, or give you an opportunity like Kay to find your own niche here. So we just like to cross-train everybody everywhere.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So again, I just want to thank Rita and Chip and all of the volunteers today that we got to meet for showing us around Connellsville Community Ministries and really highlighting all of the incredible ways that there are to volunteer here. And I also want to thank every volunteer, no matter where you serve time, if it's at your local church, at the library, at an animal shelter, at a food pantry, everything that you do makes a difference. If you're not volunteering now, please consider finding a place to volunteer. Even if you just give an hour a week or an hour a month, whatever it is you give, that makes a huge difference. I'd encourage you to come check out Connellsville Community Ministries. Rita will set you up with a great place that works for you based on your talents, on your gifts, on your interests, all of those good things. So everyone who volunteers, again, you make such a huge difference. Thank you.